Hi there, welcome to this podcast. Today I'm going to talk about intuition and the human soul. We start with intuition right away. Intuition is, at this particular moment in time, for the spiritual human beings, is gradually increasing. We are intuitively being highly twinned. So, as I say, the wind of change of energies that is blowing across the planet at the moment is resulting in us having a more highly twinned intuition, a high sense of discernment. So we could use our intuition much more effectively at this particular moment in time because our intuition now is being energized. So the more you practice using your intuitive self, deciding where can I go here, can I go there, is it safe for me to walk along that path or not? Most of the times, if you use your intuition and practice it at this particular moment, you often get the correct answers. So our intuition is now of great value. It's getting more twinned, finely twinned, and it is much more easier now for us. In fact, in the past, the ancient times, the Kemetic times of ancient Egypt, early days, intuition was almost equal to our human brain. So the power of the intelligence of our intuitive self was almost the same as the human brain. Now we went through a certain period of development as human beings from 50,000 years ago. Consciousness evolution. We have been evolving, and we have come now to the point where our intuition, since December 2012, that the earth has basically shifted to the fifth dimension, meaning the dimension of benevolence, of love, of kindness, of sharing. And this is also affecting, for example, the war that's going on. If I might shift on that a little bit. The Ambazonian war, there is also a great deal of consciousness awakening on the peoples of Ambazonia and also of French Cameroon. The French Cameroonians are also being awakening to a new reality that of self-awareness, being aware of the fact that they have been cheated for the last 40 years by the French system. And they are coming to the realization that the freedoms they thought they have, actually, there are no freedoms. That the English side is much more aware of the idea of freedoms and liberation than them. So across the French Africa now, there's a momentum of awakening of the youth, and the people are gradually awakening to the anti-French dominance, and they are awakening to the new reality that they were sort of blocked from seeing the truth, what was going on in French Africa. Now they are awakening to a new reality, and this is all due to intuition, and it's also due to a consciousness, awareness. That's the higher vibration of the planet that is making the evil, the darkness, the dark forces, the warmongers, they are gradually dying on earth because light has defeated darkness, basically. And the forces of darkness are fighting their last battles. So let's go back to intuition. As I was saying, intuition is collaborated by your pineal gland. They are very important organs. The pineal, your higher self. There is something called your higher self, and there's your brain. They are all part of collaborating, to give you a higher intuitive self. So your higher self is you, the part of you that is on the other side, and of the veil, and it is half of it. You know, we are all our soul couldn't possibly inhabit this body. If I might say that now, because our bodies are not vibrating enough to take a complete soul, human soul. So half of the soul is left on the other side of you, is part of you on the other side of the veil, and that's your higher self. So your pineal gland, your higher self, your brain, all collaborate to give you the intuition that you need now to solve problems. Problems like, where do I go? Is this food right for me to eat or not? Should I go there? Should I not go there? It's all being determined by our intuitive self. For those who are able to tune in and get that intuition activated and then make use of it. And the more intuitive you are, the more messages you will get about how things work in nature. And there are some. You could also do some affirmations to increase your intuition. You know, your intuitive self, to raise that vibration in you and also increase your intuitiveness on whatever you do. And the affirmation goes like this: Dear Spirit, if I could have an enhancement right now, I want you to enhance my intuition. That's all. If you say that every morning, and every morning, every day, you know, Dear Spirit, if I could have an enhancement right now, I would like you to enhance my intuition. Once you say that, your cells hear it, antennas, everything, and your cells are energized, and your intuition will start to function appropriately, the way it's supposed to be at this moment. So it is very, very important to use this intuitive self at the moment to help us to make the transition from this old energy and to the new energy. We are now in the new energy, but the old energy is not yet gone. That's why you still have the last wars, like the one in Ambazonia, which the French government are definitively going to lose, because they are old energy. They are the cabal. They are the evil forces that have already been defeated. As the earth has shifted from a third dimension to the fifth dimension, it means the fifth dimension is the dimension of light, beginning of light, seeing light, benevolence, humanity that is not evil doing anymore. An example of this will be, for example, you will have in the future Palestinians and Israelis. Instead of fighting each other, they will unite to fight a common enemy, which is evil in general. Call it terrorism, whatever, suicide, bombing, and things like that. They will unite to fight that. Both now they are fighting; they are on each other's throat. But in the future, that's an example of what is happening to this kind of new energies I'm talking about. You have people you thought North and South Korea will eventually unite, things like that. So the evil cabal ruling the earth has died already. It's already died. It's finished. So they are fighting their last battles now. That's all I have to say about the intuitive self now. And let's go now to the human soul. This is a very interesting part. Topic I wanted to talk about today. The human soul. It's something I also am very fascinated about. Talking about the human soul, you know. And let's go directly to love, because human soul, the soul, when you talk about the soul, you're talking about love, the idea of love, because love is the soul. It's all what the soul does is love. And it is the piece of the Creator. And it is multidimensional. And So the soul in you is multidimensional. That is why if you ask yourself, for example, how is it possible that 8 billion, let's say 8 billion people could be praying at God, to God, and then that the God will be able to hear these 8 billion people at once? How is that really possible? If God was like a linear, like Christianity and all the religions like to portray somewhere in the galaxy a person, God is inside of you. It's in the soul. And it is a multidimensional thing. That means all the human souls are the same. Some are more developed than others, but we are all the same and they vibrate on the same level. That's why, but you've got higher humans who are much more spiritual, and you've got earth humans, people who are living on earth, and they have all their life they have been living only on earth, doing mundane things. They are mundane humans, like, you know, they didn't really evolve as such. They are caught between the fifth and the third, and the fourth and the third dimension. They are in between. They have never evolved to the fifth. But they live among us, and they are majority of the world population. But now, with this opportunity of moving, we all have now the opportunity to move to the fifth dimension, and the souls are also doing that transition. All the souls, the ordinary humans on Earth, and the system of spiritual evolution. To evolve spiritually, to be more spiritual, which is not really being religious, but to be able to know things in a deep way, in a more spiritual and a more asking yourself more questions, trying to understand things deeply, more deeply. All that inspiration and those thoughts are coming from your soul. And the soul, the human soul, is connected to the grids. You call it the grids of information. And these grids are, you've got in the planet, you have the Earth grid. It's a grid that stores consciousness, stores the human consciousness particularly. And you've got the crystalline grid that stores not only the consciousness, but the Akashic records, which are your records of past life experiences here on the planet. And you also have your Earth grid, crystalline grid, and you have these grids are responsible for storing your life history. When you pass away, all is recorded in these grids, and the soul is deeply connected to that crystalline grid that stores your information. When you, for example, you die, you go to these grids and deposit all your information, and every time you reincarnate here on Earth, and before you go do the transition, when you are coming back and your soul is coming back to reincarnate, it passes to that grid and picks up that information you left from the last reincarnation you made, and then it comes back to Earth and continues the education, because we are here on Earth to study and evolve as human beings. That's the purpose of humanity here on Earth. It's not about the things we have been taught since we were small, but it's more about studying a soul-level education, trying to evolve to be a better human being. Example of this is the masters who walk the earth, like Jesus Christ. He had an Akashic record, his DNA was around 88% activated, so the people could feel him. There was a field around him, benevolence that people could immediately feel. That was an example of an evolved human being with a soul, a soul remembrance, which is the soul Akashic records, And An increase in soul awareness of your soul brings a spiritual evolution, as we can say, you know. The evolutionary process of humanity will gradually bring these soul remembrances, you know, that you are eternal. Your soul is eternal. It is multidimensional, you know. And the soul, the human soul, for example, you know, it contains information about who you are, your personality, you know, and the soul can listen to everybody at the same time because it is all the same, you know. It is you know, the time capsules, you know, that are opening at the moment are giving you information that is coming through your soul. You know, time capsules are like revelations, things that were kept in for this particular moment of ascension that are being revealed to us. Those are time capsules, and they were mostly done by the Pleiadians who seeded humanity. Those are our great grandparents. They are all the Pleiadians from the Pleiadian galaxy. We are all descendants of the Pleiadians. So they kept what we call time capsules, which are series of events and happening that are occurring now that were you know, they were all put in the pieces were all put in place to happen right now. There is nothing that is happening at the moment by chance. Everything has been arranged to happen this way. Even the wars and Ambazonia is all pre-arranged. That's why you can see the boys, they are so organized. Of a sudden, they become organized, they form groups. You don't know who is fighting who are the real fighters, how can they be so dedicated? It's all because they are fighting. That's what they came to Earth here to do, is to fight. Everybody came here for a different purpose. They just reincarnated to come and fight this particular time. That could be also what is called a time capsule. The time capsule. The war was supposed to happen at the particular moment it is happening. And those guys reincarnated to come and do that fight. And that's what they are doing. So everything, there's nothing that's happening by chance. And this soul, if I may go back to, everybody can, you will be asking, where is it really? Where is it in your body? Now, it is first of all the piece of the Creator. It means this. It is a piece of the God in you. That is your soul. It is not corporeal. It is not like a human body. No, the soul is not non-corporeal, and the soul resides in the energy of your consciousness. Now we are getting a little bit more higher in this spirituality stuff, but this is very high discussion for people who are able to discern it, and people who are a little bit more spiritual. You know, you've got to identify your consciousness and be what it is, and then the energy of your consciousness, that is where the soul resides. These are all esoteric discussions, and all of it has to be inside of you. The piece of the Creator and all the thing, the soul is all inside of you. Your angels, you hear about your higher self. They are not somewhere hidden in a galaxy. They are all inside your soul. Your angels, your higher self, all of them reside inside your soul. They are all inside of you. You are the universe, the galaxies. The galaxy, when you look on the sky at night, you see the galaxy bright with all the stars. They are representing you. Your cells are the stars. That's why you have trillions of cells in your body. They are representing your galaxy. So you are representative of a galaxy. You are the galaxy. Your cells are the stars, put it that way, and you are the black hole you hear of by where the scientists, always talk about black. It's inside of you. Everything is inside. The universe is inside. The God is inside. The angels are inside of you. They are not outside. And Now, I would also like to say the human soul is a catalyst for graduation of energy that you are now ready to receive. You know, they play a catalyst role. The energy, the old energy is gone. We are now heading the new energy, the graduation phase, and the soul is not coming through a human portion. It's just it is a multi-dimension thing. And they play a catalyst role in your body. So it delivers information. Your soul gives you information, and an increase in your soul awareness when you are. You know, when you are becoming aware of your soul that is inside of you, you evolve spiritually. Your level of involvement drastically increases, you know. To engage the soul in you, because it is detached from the human physical corporeal body, it is on its own. But to engage it, you must have a DNA that is activated around 44%. At the moment, we are like 35%, 30% of humanity has that DNA activated. But at the moment you reach 44%, then you could have to have that link with your soul. It's there, but the link is not linked with the corporeal self. The higher your DNA activates, the more it activates, the more closer you come to the source, which is the God part of you, which is the soul, and all those things. So I would like to end here. And anybody who I will like to entertain some challenge. Anybody who listens to this podcast, I'm always talking about energies, the earth, and things like that, spirituality and esoteric topics, things about esoterics. You could do your research, or you could, and before challenging me, you can see whether what I'm saying resonates with you by doing a little bit more research. And spiritual people who are deeply spiritual, would be able to pick what I'm saying, or to discern what I'm saying easily than people who are non-spiritual. I would like to thank you for listening.